Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on the Python programming language and machine learning. So in this video I will attempt to predict the future price of the stock market using machine learning algorithms. Now in order to do this I will use the S&P 500, which is widely considered one of the best ways to gauge the entire equities market. So if you're going to code along with me, I'm on colab.research.google.com, which is where I'm going to be coding at, and this makes it really easy to start programming in Python. So all you have to do is come to this website and then log in using your Google account and get started writing your Python code. So go ahead and click on File, then click on New Notebook, where a new tab will open up for you, and then eventually a new cell will open up for you. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to install some packages. So I'm just going to type pip install Pycaret. All right, and I'm going to run this, and then I'm going to pause the video until it finishes installing, and then once it's done installing, then I will unpause the video just to make it a little bit quicker for you all. So I'll see you all soon. Okay, so it looks like it's done installing, so I'm just going to scroll down here and I'm going to click on restart runtime, click yes. All right, and I'm going to create a new cell by clicking that code button in the top left, and I'm going to install another package. So just type pip install markup safe equals 2.0.1, and then run this. It shouldn't take too long. Okay. All right, so I'm going to create another cell and I'm going to install Jinja 2. So just type pip install Jinja 2, and then let's run this. All right, and before we begin coding, if you like the videos on this channel, then be sure to click that subscribe and like button, and to be notified about new videos from this channel, hit that bell notification. All right, so let's create a new cell, and now in this cell I'm going to import a few libraries. But before I do, let me just make sure that I tell you all that the material in this video is purely educational and should not be taken as professional investment advice. So invest at your own discretion. This is just a fun machine learning project. Also, you can get the code in this video or the data set, or just support the channel on Patreon at patreon.com/computerscience, and I will leave a link for that in the description below. All right, so let's continue programming. So here I'm going to import some libraries. So I'm going to import Jinja 2, and then from Pycaret.regression I'm going to import star, and I'm going to import numpy as np, and I'm going to import pandas as pd. And then from sklearn.model_selection I'm going to import train_test_split. All right, so let's go ahead and run this cell, and let's create a new one. All right, so here I want to load the data set, so I'm going to use Google's library. So from google.colab I'm going to import files, and then I'm going to type files.upload and run the cell. I'm going to choose files, and I'm going to choose this S&P 500.csv file to upload. Okay, so while it's uploading, I'm going to go ahead and create another cell, and in this cell I want to read in the data. So I'm going to create a variable called asset and set it equal to pd.read_csv. And now that the file is done loading, I'm going to put in the name of the file, which is smp500.csv. Okay, then I'm going to show the data. So I'm just going to type asset here. Let's go ahead and show it, so we can see that this data set contains information on the S&P 500 from 1/29/1993 all the way to 9/21/2022. Okay, so it has 7,466 rows of data and 7 columns, and those columns of course are up here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just set the date as the index. Not really important here, but anyways, just set asset equal to asset dot set underscore index pd dot date time index, and then put in the date. All right, and then dot value. So this should just set the date as the index instead of the integer values. Let's go ahead and create a new cell. And now in this cell, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a copy of the data set. So I'm going to call this df3, or I just call it df3 for now. And I'm going to set df3 equal to asset dot copy. Okay. Next, I'm going to store the data in a feature data set that I'm going to call X. And I'm also going to add in the target column. So, and add in the target column. So the idea here is to take some of these features up top and to predict one of these features here, right? So I'm going to make the date and the open price a feature that we're going to use to predict our target, which will be the close price. All right. So again, what I'm trying to do here is based off of the date and the open price, I want to predict the close price. So I'm going to create that variable called X for the feature data set that will also contain our target variable. And so I'm going to set X equal to np dot array df3, and df3 will take in those columns, which will be the date, the open price, the close price. So again, these two columns will be the feature, and the close price is our target. All right, so maybe calling X the feature data set is incorrect because it also contains the target, right? So anyways, we're going to continue. Next, I want to store the close price as an array in a variable called y, and this will be the target variable. So I'm going to set y equal to df3 close dot values. Okay, and here I see I put df2, so I need to get rid of that, and I need to put df3. Okay, so next I want to split the data into, I'm going to do 85% training, and I will do 15% testing, right? So that should add up to 100%. Okay, so I'm going to create the xtrain data set. I want to create the xtest data set, the ytrain data set, and then the ytest data set. So I'm going to set them equal to train underscore test underscore split function, and I'm going to input x and y, and then I'm going to tell it the test size. So again, the test size should be 15%. So I'm going to set test size equal to 0.15. All right, and then random underscore state will be equal to 0, and shuffle will be equal to false. All right, so we're not shuffling. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. Let's create a new cell. All right, so now we have our xtrain data set, we have our ytrain data set, we have our xtest data set, and our ytest data set. So let's get the train data and let's transform it. So we're going to transform it to a data frame. All right, so I'm going to create a variable called train underscore data, and I'm going to set this equal to pd dot date or data frame, and I'm going to input x underscore train, and I'm going to tell it which columns to put in there. So this will be the date column, the open price column, and the close price column. Okay, and then I'm going to show the first 7 rows of data. So I'm just going to type test underscore data dot head and input the number 7. So let's go ahead and run this. Sorry, I put test data instead of train data. All right, so there we go. So train data dot head, and now we can see the first 7 rows of data. All right, so let's create a new cell, and in this cell I'm going to initialize the setup. So I'm going to create a variable. I'm just going to call it s and set it equal to setup. I'm going to set the data equal to our train data set. So that's train underscore data. The target will be the close price column, and then the session ID can really be any number. I'm going to put 123 here, and then use underscore GPU I'm going to set to true. So let's run this. Okay, and so it comes back and it tells us the data types for each of these columns, and of course the close column is the target or label. Okay, so I'm just going to come here and press enter, and it's done. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new cell, and now I want to train on multiple models and compare them. So here I'm going to put train on multiple models and compare them. So just type compare underscore models to compare all of the machine learning models, right? And so I'm going to sort these models by the MSE. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. And for those of you who don't know, MSE stands for mean squared error. All right, and of course the lower the value for the mean squared error, the better. 0 means that the model is perfect. All right, so it's still training. I'm going to give it just a little bit more time. Okay, so it is done now. So we can take a look at all of these different models. So we can see the Huber regressor, Bayesian ridge, linear regression model, so on and so forth, right? Random forest regressor. So we have all of these machine learning models that we can use now to make the price predictions based off of the date and the open price. Okay, and you can see all these models are sorted by the MSE. Okay, again, the lower the value, the better. And you can see that the values just continue to increase the further we go down. So I would choose one of these models to use to make our predictions. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new cell. And the model that I think I'm going to use will be ElasticNet. Okay, so in order to do that, I am going to, let's see here, create the model. So I'm going to create a variable called en, and I'm going to set it equal to create underscore model, and I'm going to put in en because en is the ElasticNet. right? We have EN here. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and run this. And now we have created the model. So let's go ahead and create a new cell. And now that we have this model, we can get the predictions. So in order to do that, just type predict underscore model. And we're going to input our model, which is EN. We're going to tell it what data to make predictions on. So I'm going to set data equal to the test underscore data. And did we create a test data? I don't think we did, right? So let's go back up. And I never created the test data, so let's go ahead and create that now. So let's create a new cell right here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the test data and transform it to a data frame, very similar to what we did with the train data. So I'm just going to come up here. I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to copy using Control C, and I'm going to come down here and paste it using Control V. And I'm going to change this from train to test. And I'm going to change this from X underscore train to X underscore test. And this will also be test underscore data. So let's run this. And now we have our test data set. Okay. So this is data that the model has never seen. All right, so let's scroll back down here. I am setting data equal to the test data, but I want to only use the date column and the open price column. Okay, so I'm going to drop that close price column from the data set, and so I'll also have to set the axis equal to 1 for column to tell it to drop the column, and that should do it. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, and so now we can see the date, we can see the open price, and then we can see the label or the prediction. Okay, so looking at this, the model seems to be just kind of copying the open price, right? So let's just check to see what the actual values are for the close price. I'm going to create a new cell. And here I'm just going to show the actual values. So I'm going to type test underscore data and then input close, and let's run this. Okay, so if we look at that first row, we can see that the close price, the actual close price is 265.929993, and the model thinks that the price will be 265.177246. So it's not off too much there, but let's take a look at maybe this last row. So the actual price is 377.390015, and the model predicts that the price should be 385.954346. So here it is off by quite a bit, by about $8 and some cents. So this model, like I said, is just a model, and this was just a fun small project for machine learning, but I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for watching the video, and a special thanks to the Patreon supporters on patreon.com Again, if you would like to become a supporter of this channel, I will leave a link to the Patreon page, which is patreon.com/computerscience, in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.